I say that to ask you, what might women experience if they are suffering from breast implant illness, but might not actually be aware of it? Like, what are some of the more common things?
I think the most common symptoms, and this is going to sound so generalized because this could be anything. It's going to be really chronic fatigue. Brain fog is terrible. My memory was going. It was to the point where it was really embarrassing. Like, there would be meetings that I would have with work and then I couldn't remember details, tasks, things that I needed to do. So that was scary. Anxiety, crippling anxiety. I would wake up some mornings just crying, just scared, not knowing why. Depression. I had never experienced depression in my life. Gut issues, had never had gut issues in my life. Weight gain. I gained like 20 pounds in probably 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
Living the same lifestyle I always had. And I think that maybe like having COVID might have tipped me over. That's a possibility because that's kind of when things started to get really bad. I don't know. I mean, it's all speculation, but like all I know for sure is that I started to feel better after I removed them. So it's like, that's the thing that's so tough is they want to know for sure. Like they want to know for sure that it's the implants that are causing the symptoms. And it's like, you got to just take a leap of faith on your health and just know that like you will be better off without them if you are experiencing symptoms. Like it will give your body a better chance to heal because it's already in such an immune response just having them, period.
Yes. And if we're being honest and somebody's even playing with the idea of getting them out, that they're probably acknowledging that there is a certain degree or a certain possibility that they could potentially be the thing that's impacting the health.
Yes.
So therefore the decision not to get them out is usually probably more of their own like body confidence, the spiritual, the emotional stuff.
I think
that's
generally the last thing that would keep, because otherwise if it could make you feel better, why wouldn't you?
You want that, right?
You know? Yeah. But like, it's because it's attached to our identity.
Yeah.
If I told you eating mustard was causing issues in your life, you would just be like, okay, cool.
Right.
See you later. I'm never going to have mustard again. It wouldn't be that difficult of a decision.
Yeah.
But when it's something that challenges what you believe is giving you confidence and what you believe is making you beautiful, not only in your eyes, but like in the eyes of men or whatever it might be, then it gets a bit more challenging.
I love this topic. I'd love to go into it a little bit more with you because I think sometimes scratching the surface of this topic could just appear that it's just a very physical conversation, like breast implants or not, breast implants in or removed, wanting nice boobs versus normal boobs, whatever that is. But it seems like underneath there is a lot more to it. There's like a whole sense of self thing, maybe even it's spiritual for you. And I think a lot of it is rooted in some of those things you just said, like what have I attached my identity to? Beauty standards. So do with that what you will, because I think we're living in a very interesting time for just crazy beauty standards.
Yeah, I also love that you brought up the spiritual aspect of it, because this is something that I haven't seen talked about anywhere. And for me, I mean, I've always been somebody from a young age to like want to know the deeper meaning of things and make meaning out of things. It's just kind of how I've always seen life. But yeah, for me, removing them started to be the catalyst of some sort of spiritual journey for me, because I took them out, and then I also used to have really long hair extensions, and then I was like, wait, I don't need these either. I took those out, and then I went to Bali and did yoga teacher training, like very like eat, pray, love vibes, and went and did that. And then I realized that like what I was doing for work was no longer aligned, and it just became a stripping, and I feel like everything in my life was just being pulled and taken away. And then I finally have landed at this point now where I finally feel like I'm like back at me. But the catalyst to all of that was questioning the implants and then choosing my health and choosing to reclaim that. And then I started to look at every other thing in my life that wasn't working. And yeah, it's just a shedding of identity. And I think I've landed back at like coming home to myself in a way, which feels really good. And then from that point, I'm like, okay, now I would love to help empower other women to not just, it's deeper. It's deeper than just the implants, you know. It's like, are you awake? Are you looking at your life? Are you looking at the things that are truly aligned to you? Or did you just buy into some narrative that you don't even subscribe to? Yeah. If you really question it.
Maybe that is part of the resistance to this conversation too, because people know they can't do that without opening the whole of Pandora's box.
It is. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because this is
exactly that.
Like you said, the things that we do, and men do it too, I think we're just less under the constant pressure to live up to unrealistic beauty standards. But you see like male body dysmorphia is on the rise and all this stuff. So we're all getting like globally psyoped by unrealistic beauty standards. But really what they're an attempt to do is to kind of hide the trueness of who we are and think that like if we just have, it's the I'll be happy when syndrome kind of thing. Like, well, I'll be happy when I have the nice boobs. Or the guy might say, well, I'll be happy when I'm 10% body fat and shreddy Kruger, only to get there and realize, oh, well, that didn't quite do it. So maybe it's hair extensions, or maybe it's ab implants, or maybe it's a BBL. And then all of a sudden to get there and realize, oh, well, I have all the things. Now, not only do I not feel complete, but I'm also sick. And now I've got to get those out, and not getting them out is going to cause me to question why I even did it in the first place. And that's going to cause me to question like what kind of life I'm living and who am I doing this for? And do I want to live this life? And all of a sudden you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And it can be quite uncomfortable at times. And I think that a lot of people just don't want to look maybe. And then that's where a lot of the triggered comments come from.
Yeah. All right, friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Radical Health Radio. We got a fresh new podcast for you every Wednesday. If you enjoyed the show, consider liking, subscribing, reviewing, and rating us on your podcast platform. It helps to spread this message of radical health. We'll see you next week.